Let me see here. All right, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, everybody. Everyone remembers Celril, the Altmer noble, to which we've spent hundreds of hours playing with, gathering all the relics in Skyrim. Now, we may have made a little mistake and became a vampire, and we may have had a couple other minor issues. No one here is a Sith Lord, all right? Our goal is still to gather all the relics, and just because we have unlimited power does not mean we're a Sith Lord. Just because we have a spooky mask to hide our vampiric face does not mean we're a Sith Lord. Don't worry about it. Well, when I talk about unlimited power, of course, I'm referring to the usage of novice and apprentice spells are free, and then combine that with a little bit of ionized path, static field, arc burn, magnetize, electroconvulsion, show them all in absolute power. Not unlimited power, absolute power. Doesn't matter. Then we have the conjuration tree with our bone collector, ravenous dead, reap and sow, edge of oblivion, necromaster, and march of oblivion. No problem. Yes, exactly. We are definitely not a Sith Lord. Now, as far as what we need to do today, yes, we need to feed on some of the most powerful mortals in Skyrim. We need to retrieve a jeweled flagon, and then we need to collect a bounty from Folk Firebeard. Those are all things we have to do while we're up in Solitude. We're not going to the gallery today, oddly enough. We are definitely not doing that. But, yeah, as far as the sneaky feeding on the powerful mortals thing, that's probably going to happen. We're going to tell everyone to wait outside. They'll just wait for us outside the city gates. Yes. Feels just like yesterday we became a werebear in a lab accident. Yes, I was eating all the alchemy ingredients, and then I accidentally ate activated werebeast blood. I'm like, what did that do? Oh, crap, I'm transforming into a bear. Yeah, we rid ourselves of that curse and promptly got another one. Actually, we spent about, 50, 60 hours without that? You're asking for specs? Well, let me pull that up for you. Info. I'll just pull up my system information for you. That's not a big problem. So here you go. I'm running KDE Neon, not Windows, and processor, memory, graphics card, simple stuff. There you go. Okay, sure. Let's get back to it, shall we? Right. Uh-oh, it's that time again. Time for the news of the hour, everybody.
Hear ye! Hear ye!
You should see me.
Good citizens of Solitude and visitors to our fair city from far and near. By lawful decree of our Jarl, clan feuds and personal duels are henceforth banned within the walls of Solitude.
No duels, got it. All right, let's see here. A couple things we have to do. First of all, we need to go to Castle Dower and feed on one of the most powerful mortals in Skyrim. Additionally, the Misted board is populating right now, so we're gonna figure out what that is. I figure we'll open up the Misted board as soon as we finish talking to. We'll go to Folk Firebeard first because we can't feed on the most powerful mortals during the day unless we want to piss them off, and then we have to sneak away. Of course, we do have an invisibility cloak, and we do have muffle, so it's actually very effective. Now, this is the Chadmer, the most powerful high elf in the universe. If you ever question elven supremacy, you need only look as far as the Chadmer. He is, he's pretty powerful. Let's see here.
I am not interested in whatever you are peddling. I don't wish to talk to you. Leave me be. I am not in. Leave me alone and go about your business, citizen. We have nothing to talk about. Go away. We have no.
On.
Do you make a habit of bothering random strangers on the street?
Yes, yes, I do. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go get. Who are you, sir? It's Scar Ironhand.
When I was a young rascal, I broke a man's arm with a single punch.
Right.
Of course, I had a horseshoe hidden.
I understand. I understand completely. All right. Back to it then. We are going to grab the butterflies. Yes, yes, indeed. No problem here. Well, he is a justiciar, actually. Oh. Who are you, sir?
Sibyl Stentor has a grasp of magical
I'm
theory
on my way
that I
to
would never have
Solitude to join
expected
the
from
Legion.
a human.
A united
even a
empire
Breton.
is better for everyone.
You are free to leave.
Well, you're here. You're already at Solitude.
I want to be on the right side. I was born and raised in Skyrim, but the Nords treat us like dirt. I want to be on the right side.
So you just sit here at the Blue Palace forever. Once you get to your destination. That's kind of funny. Oh, hello.
Don't speak to your betters until you are spoken to. Bugger off, mate.
He's a Breton. He's a fucking Breton. that is a Breton right there. Yes.
As you know, Solitude's coffers are much depleted by the war efforts. Thane Erica, you have a strong head for business. What do you suggest?
This is an unfortunate but unavoidable ebb in revenue. But as long as we continue to support the Empire, our sacrifices will be well rewarded.
Listen to you, speaking of sacrifice. You've never gone hungry a day in your life, Erica.
And what would my impetuous Thane Bryling suggest instead?
Simple. Let the Empire fight its own war, with its own funds, and without hijacking our supplies and soldiers. Let Hafingar rebuild.
My lady, surely you're not that naive. Such foolishness would only leave us defenseless. The rebels would storm the palace in an afternoon.
The Stormcloaks only rebel because the Empire uses Skyrim as its personal larder. The more they take, the more support the rebels gain.
That is quite enough. Perhaps I will raise these issues when I have an audience with General Tullius.
Okay. So,
The Empire plans to levy a tax on our trading ships. Falk, you've got to do something about this.
General Tullius needs more money for the war effort. We need the funds to arm and provision more troops.
Then let's increase the taxes on the farms and merchants. We can't afford to lose the loyalty of the ship captains.
We know full well about your investment in shipping ventures, Erica. I've also heard troubling rumors about dealings between you and the crew of that pirate ship, the Red Wave.
that's right.
Thankfully, Jarl Elisif cares far less about your lost profits than she does about winning the war.
Sounds about right.
The Jarl would
Do
be
you have
wise
business
to
with the
remember
court?
that it is her thanes and my profits that are paying for this war.
Yeah. All right. So the fugitive's dead. I'm here for the bounty.
Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here's your reward.
Someday we'll ask about Wolf Skull Cave, but that day is not today.
Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
For those of you who don't realize, we're 321 hours into the playthrough and we haven't touched Wolf Skull Cave yet. There are so many different quests we haven't touched at the moment, but that's fine. We did what we needed to do. Now we're going to have to deal with a certain someone in the Blue Palace. Let's see. Don't you want to put him a little... Yeah, that unfortunately is a little side gig we don't intend to do right now. If you want to know where I live there in the back of that building in the little safe house behind it. But that's where I keep and manage my museum of like 1,600 relics at this point. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh well. Let's see here. Yes, we've for those who don't know, let's go. belongs in a museum. Let's pull that up right there. Yes, there you go. So, apparently the high school DxD things autoplayed before I turned off autoplay, but look at that. I got to listen to high school DxD opening. Isn't that exciting? Autoplay is the best feature ever. Yes, it belongs in a museum. We need to boost, we need a higher resolution version of this, I think. That's what we need. If only it were Chargeman Kent. If you haven't seen the video on Chargeman Ken, I recommend it. You said autoplay? Yes. Is there supposed to be sound there? Sometimes. As I said, we need to turn it up because the game sound is overwhelming it. If I were to turn off the game sound, you would hear this faint, "It belongs in a museum." Yeah, Kenny Lauderdale, I believe. Yes, he did this whole video on Chargeman Ken. I recommend it. It's pretty good. So, yes, exactly. It is pretty quiet. That's why I'm saying I need a high-res version of It Belongs in a Museum, I think. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out Chargeman Ken. It's from 1974. It's a terrible, terrible Japanese cartoon by the standards of 1974. That is to say, like, Battleship Yamato came out at the same time, and it looks, sounds, and it just is, in general, better in every measurable way than Chargeman Ken. I think it was... let me see here. Okay, I think it was the Dynamite in the Brain that really sold it. Was this here? Yes. So the Dr. Volga's a fake, right? He hears. He has super hearing, so he actually hears ticking from inside the doctor's head. Realizes there's a bomb in the doctor's head, so he transforms into Chargeman Ken and explains that the professor was murdered and that he's a human robot with a bomb in his head. So he presses a dedicated button for launching his co-pilot through the floor of his little airplane there, and the doctor falls into the alien ship and explodes, and then everyone is happy at the end. It is the worst, the worst, and yet it's amazing in how bad it is. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, there's an episode where the aliens coax school children out into the forest and have them eat mushrooms so that they'll be too psychedelic. So that the psychedelic effect will render them too stoned to be able to do their homework. That is an entire episode of that series. All right, so let's see here. What we need to do now is we need to turn Skyrim's audio back on. Actually, that's what we need to do. Give me a second to do that. Let me click over here. There we go. Now we got Skyrim's audio back on. Now that we're in here, we need to steal something from the Temple of Arche, I believe. Or should I say Hall of the Dead. Yeah, it's downstairs. Pretty sure. Ah, god damn it, it's upstairs. Either way, I'm invisible and I'm using muffle to silence my movements, so. Oof. There we go. See this one I can't steal? That's a bug. That's a bug. Very good. All right. You're here now. What did you miss? You missed about 300 hours of us watching videos of folk dancing. Also Chargeman Ken. But you don't have to worry about that. Yes. All right. Let's keep going. Yes, the Book of Grudges. That was one of my favorite things. And in Vermintide 1, they actually had Barden's Book of Grudges as a as an item that would increase his hero power. Kind of funny. All right. And we need to feed on mortals, specifically a General Tullius. We can't be seen going in there. Shoot. Who is that? Hold on. Who are you? Ataf? His name is Ataf, and he's running to the Blue Palace as quickly as he can. I don't have any interest in whatever Ataf is running for, but yeah, we're just gonna be super sneaky about this. And of course, we're gonna get our immersion ruined immediately by an NPC who knows that I'm there anyway, who wants to talk to me. General Tullius likes to sneak around and go, is there something I can help you with? Can I direct you to the nearest prison? Yes. There we go. Let me see here. Hey, Spawn. No, this, oh, here you go.
Something I can do for you? Perhaps direct you to the nearest prison?
Nearest prison, yes. No, alas, I put full-time hours into the streaming just because I play my video games that long, but, there's something else I do which I'm not willing to talk about right now. I can tell you, though, in the past, I was a salesman. No, seriously. I was in sales. I handled corporate sales. I also did a bit of retail, though the retail part was kind of icky, I would say. But at no point in time was my my sales, let's just say, I never did cold calls, nor did I go door to door. People tell me about their experiences with Cutco or Kirby, but I thankfully have only done retail and corporate. That's it. Okay, but I'm no longer in that business. When I left California, I left that behind. Let me see here. Okay.
Go on, get out of here.
Go on, get out of here. He's gonna keep following me around now. All right, let's go to his personal chambers. Oh, that door's locked off there. Okay. Yeah, I can grab that. I don't think there's anything I really need to pay attention to. Why is there silver ore there? Can you believe I'm stealthing around with my Histus flask glowing there? Said cold calls is among the worst, but so is trying to upsell people, calling customer support. Oh God. Well, yeah. It depends. I would argue it depends because, like a phone company, for example, I imagine that you could get away with quite a bit as far as upselling people go. I can't imagine anything else. Oh, is this the Tempest? No, it's not the. There's an artifact called the Tempest Dominus, which looks kind of like an hourglass, and I thought, have I found the Tempest Dominus? No, I have not. All right, it wouldn't just be sitting in the palace for me to take. All right. An incentive to sell new laptops. Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you something I learned by speaking to many people. This is not firsthand experience necessarily, but it's from what I've because I've spoken to many other people who also work in sales. And that is anything where you sell a product or service that will last for more than a year, your job is not secure because your job depends on there always being more people to buy that service. The idea is there's an infinite number of people for you to grab for that particular either service or product. But if you were selling a laptop and the laptop lasts for 6 years, that means if you sell to all your likely people, this product, then yeah, you have to move to a new market. You have to be like a traveling salesman, not a localized one. Period. So yeah, I mean, it's just the idea of like I remember one guy told me about DirecTV contracts. Another guy told me about laptops were one of them. All their experiences are you burn through a market in about 1.5 years, and then the market is not viable anymore for the next 3 or 4 years until it becomes viable again. And he said just be Apple and brainwash your buyers into buying every new product you release. Geez. That isn't true, though, Shatterend. That is not true. Most people do not buy a new iPhone. Most iPhone, iPhone users buy an iPhone maybe once every 3 or 4 years. More than they need to. Like, a good cell phone should last you about 6 or 7 years, assuming you don't drop it. But yes, they have brand loyalty. A friend of yours always moves from funerals to retirement funds, cars, gets lots of commission for like 2 months, and then has to quit due to pressure to meet sale target. I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen with a lot of people. Let me see here. I can confirm I did commission work for a while, and it was extremely lucrative if you know what you're doing. But then, how do I put this? There are people who are legitimately they buy into multi-level marketing and believe that they need to take on extra work without getting adequately compensated for it, with the promise that they will get repaid for that with Easy Street afterward. Let's just say, and it's a lot of this is highly illegal. A lot of these business practices in sales are highly illegal, but are generally accepted because no one complains. And then when someone does complain, it's the lowest level company that gets destroyed for violating the practices that the higher ups, the corporate, will say publicly, "Thou shalt not do." But then super secret, they're saying, "Do it, do it, do it." Yes. My goodness. Just yes. But yeah, the corporate structure of these large sales organizations, the one you were talking about specifically, are designed in like pods, basically. It's a pyramid, but it's a pyramid made of these little pods where you can cut off the pods beneath you at any moment, and then just drop that whole section of the organization and replace it with others. That's how those organizations are designed, to where you can just when someone gets caught doing what they need to do in order to keep their level going, they oh well, this person's become a liability, time to cut them off. I've seen that happen to friends before. The sales space is kind of terrible, actually. Do you use StreamPie? Not currently. I am waiting for the 1.0 release. I have a good old Stream Deck, but when I looked at StreamPie initially, I was like,
I'm interested in this.
Because it could replace my Stream Deck, my Elgato Stream Deck, with this nice big tablet that I could use. And StreamPie is a great concept. I recommend looking into it, but it's still a few months from being finished. They are beta testing. Oh, no, not beta testing. Alpha testing, I should say. Version 1.0. But until the mobile app is available, so I can put it on my tablet, I won't be using that. StreamPie is just a better version of Elgato Stream Deck designed for, what do you call them? Raspberry Pis and Android devices and stuff like that. But it will work on almost anything because it runs in Java. Yes. Let me see here. A couple more things I need to do. And I think we'll be back to the game in just a second. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of semi-DNS issues, going on right now with my provider. Kind of weird. Doesn't matter. Let's go deal with Tullius. So first thing we're going to do when we're dealing with Tullius is we're actually going to turn off our old Histus Flask. Our Histus Flask is nice. It'll be very useful when we enter Dark Souls, Cold Harbor, later on in the playthrough. But for now, it's not necessary. Secondly, we need to make sure our sneak is going. Yes. Exactly. Background. Oh, the background of this. It's a nice little thing. But originally I was like, I like your background. I was like, my background? You mean the Christmas diva? I don't know about that. Don't know about that at all. All right. We need to eat General Tullius if we can. Let's give it a try. We're probably gonna run. I think we got it. Black Cauldron.
What was that?
Oh crap. What was that? No, it's nothing. You think you've
been hearing things?
I must have been hearing things. Yes. No such thing as Christmas diva. Yeah, exactly. So what did we gain, and what the hell is it? We gained a new power, and I don't actually. There it is. Mythria. Interesting. Day passes 20% faster and night passes 30% slower. That's awful. Why would you want that? No, I'm not getting that. I'm sorry. Like, for role play purposes, I get that I'd want that. I want to feed on all the most powerful mortals, blah blah blah. But I do not want longer nights. Like, no, it's good. It's good if you're playing a vampire and you want to have your full arsenal of powers the majority of the time, right? That's actually very useful, and I would recommend it. Honestly, I'd recommend that power. But because I'm streaming, I like it to be bright most of the time so that people can see what the hell is going on, right? That's my main problem is, like, I need other people, especially people on, like, small phones, to be able to see what's going on. And, yeah, I don't think Elisif has a power. I think only General Tullius does. I've already gotten, what's his name? Ulfric Stormquack's power. Speaking of which, let me really quick just see if my side cam is working. All right, my side cam is working. You can see the snow outside. It just looks white out there, really, because it's too bright and the sunlight is reflecting off the snow. But let me adjust things a little bit. That'll just about do it. Okay. I was going to say, though, Ulfric Stormquack gave us a power, a pretty good one, too. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, it's more like, time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're a sinister vampire creature, apparently. I don't know. So we're not doing that. We're not feeding off of General Tullius. We do need to head to a shack near Solitude. That is apparently there's a powerful mortal in the Thalmor Embassy? Interesting. So if we break into the Thalmor Embassy at some point, we need to get Ellenwyn's power. It's something I can do. I can actually feed on anyone at any time now. I just have to be extra careful I don't, like, trigger an entire faction to hate me, which can happen. Alright, so there's a shack outside of Solitude, which I'm supposed to look at. Under the Arch of Solitude. Okay. So we're going to play extra super stealthy. Wait, is my hat on now? My hat is on with my robe. Great. That's exactly how we're supposed to do things. All right.
Fresh fish.
Yes. Fresh fish. Fresh fish, yes. Okay. Do powers also last 30% longer at night? I have a feeling that a script runs that alters the time scale based on triggers. It triggers at certain times. Got that hat. All right, well, let's go for a more a slightly more basic look then. We'll take off our ritual mask and summon our followers as well. I'm just looking at all the crazy stuff we have. There we go. We aren't spooky at all. Now, we need to summon our followers, which I think, we have set up already. They were just waiting on the other side of the entrance to Solitude, so we just summon them. Very good, Rumarin. Let's get going. Let's get going. Our goal now is to get on over to the this mysterious shack, which will probably trigger an edgelord cutscene. I'm ready for an edgelord cutscene. Low quality fan fiction is what we've been introduced to. Oh, there he is. He's dead. Oh, he has the black hand gear. Nice. This is Dark Brotherhood gear, but then it's extra spooky. And I'll be taking everything he had, including his journal. Let me see here. I hold in my hand proof the Night Mother herself has appeared before me, manifested her will and spirit not once, but twice within the last decade. First in her very own crypt. Second, outside Leowyn. Dragon Stars proven a fruitless journey for me. Right, so they're looking for Lucien Lachance's heir, basically. And if they go, you're Lucien Lachance's heir, the Dragonborn, I'm going to be like, fuck you. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen, but maybe it's someone else, who knows. Zarius is gone from this world once more. Yes, people who are named Speaker. Bellamont's plans. So while we're all hunting for the traitor. Got it. So he's literally cataloging all the shit the Brotherhood's been through, which is great and all, but I don't really have the time. What with adventuring and all. I can imagine doing a long stream of just reading this book and playing audiobook narrator. But yes, it's a thing. So we got what we needed. That's the important part. Now I assume that the lore book ASMR. Jeez, there he is. Aquin?
It is an honor to finally meet you, listener.
Yes. You pieced together the puzzle? Have you located Lachance's heir?
In due time, listener. I was in Skyrim for nearly 70 years. Over time, I came to realize that Lachance had visited nearly every inch of it. After years of fruitless searching, my hope dwindled. I maintained regular contact with Banis and Belisarius. 140 years ago, Belisarius passed.
Yes.
His nephew was already 35 when he was possessed. His search ended in failure. I looked to no avail. But, on the bright side, I was able to eliminate the southern part of Skyrim. 15 years later, I had received disturbing word regarding Banis Alor in Morrowind. It took me years to find him. He had betrayed the Brotherhood.
Alright, so those who don't know, this assumes that the, that Tamriel is the size of, like, Daggerfall, right? You know, it's freaking huge. Like, lore-wise, this makes sense. The problem is when you actually play Skyrim, my character, in 5 months, traveled over every, inch of the overworld, okay? In 5 months of game time. So don't think about it too hard and just imagine it in lore terms as opposed to video game terms where it's fucking tiny. Let's bring up the lore, I believe. Here we go.
Could it be lore? Could it be lore?
Good. Let's get back to it now.
Hijacked his cousin's body and became a member of the Morag Tong. The details are in my... What Banis said to me had disturbed me to my very being. He said that the Brotherhood was dead and forgotten. He had spoken with Belisarius, and between them they only knew of 3 active sanctuaries in all of Tamriel. I had known of 3 myself, but by that time, Dawnstar had closed its doors. 5 sanctuaries in all of Tamriel. The Brotherhood was nothing.
Yes.
My family abandoned me. For 20 years, I stopped looking. Then one day, I was shopping in Solitude, and I saw a man from across the marketplace. His eyes were Lucian's. I knew that I had found the Descendant, so I met with him and explained the situation. He became enraged and stabbed me.
That's what I expected.
My reflexes were dull. I hadn't handled a blade in almost 100 years. You will find the man's house near, just outside of Solitude. The family name is Amatius. Go with Sithis, listener. Long live the Brotherhood.
Yes, so this is the Edgelord fanfiction questline that continues the Dark Brotherhood storyline after we, finish the, whoop, here we go. Yeah, investigate the house near Solitude. So there is indeed a house down here. This is the Amatius Manor that we've gone by several times, and it was always locked. Now, I'm thinking, I don't know how much more Edgelord fanfiction I can take for today. So I think we should wait. Amatius has waited for years already, like years. So I think he can wait another month or 2 before we go actually meet with Amatius. In reality, our Dawnstar Sanctuary is growing. We have new members already. Like the Dawnstar Sanctuary is doing just fine, right? They don't need me to go find LeChance's heir today. Like, if it grows any larger, we might actually need a black hand and, to govern these, 4 sanctuaries we ping-ponged between. But that's not a big deal. So, at least not right now. And so we're going to head on down toward Dim Hollow Crypt and see what all this hubbub about vampires is about. We became a vampire through some shenanigans, and we're not a huge fan of of this, but we need to know more about them. Don't you know, if you want to become cured of your vampirism, you should talk to Falian. Yeah, I get that, but our character's justification, because we don't really care or know about Falian and his vampiric stuff. So we're going to assume that learning more about vampires and, getting ourselves cured will come from Dawnguard in theory, or at least the vampires of Dim Hollow Crypt. If we learn more about vampirism, we'll learn more about our current condition. Let's put it like that. Now, that said, we've already learned some hemomancy. We've already gotten some new perks for our vampirism. Like, we can feed on people in combat by staggering them and stuff. Yeah. Does the Emperor's ship just stay here forever? Or does it eventually leave? I'm just curious about that, because I've already got all the relics off of it. The Dark Brotherhood questline has progressed. Yes. I was going to say that, we're just going to cross the river here and continue over. You want to say it eventually despawns? It's possible I just go by this area too often, and so I have to be gone from an area for 3 to 7 days, depending on the area and depending on the things that are running in it. Anywhere between 3 and 7 days is how long it takes stuff to respawn, is in my particular playthrough. Not in general, not in the vanilla game. Anytime I use an explanation or a term, you have to understand the vanilla game can go fuck itself. I'm talking about a heavily modded, heavily altered version of Skyrim. So speaking of heavily altered, I should really get around to mastering alchemy. I'm at 81 right now, and at the very least, at 90, I can get Chemist, and I kind of want to be able to do that, to be able to extract and refine ingredients, do actual alchemy, basically. Vanilla ice cream. I also like vanilla cream cookies from time to time, but, you know, we're talking about like once every few months. Let me see here. Yeah, so there's the shack where we recruited our 2 Khajiits. That was actually kind of funny. I remember trying to recruit the mage, and he's like, I took him to the shack, and he goes, he goes, I remember what he said. He said, he just burned them all with novice spells and said, did I pass? And I know, I'll go to the Sanctuary in Dawnstar. I can read your mind. Actually, I can read everyone's minds. Constantly. I can't help it. It never stops. And that was actually kind of cool. The absolutely unhinged mage who just constantly reads everyone's minds around him, whether he likes it or not. I thought that was amusing. That so far was the only good part of this Dark Brotherhood mod, was the crazy mage who reads everyone's minds constantly, and that's driven him a bit cuckoo, which makes him an ideal candidate for the Brotherhood, honestly, being a little crazy. Let's see here. Because a normal functioning member of society wouldn't be a part of the Brotherhood. Alright, let's see. Okay. Everything else, though, about this, about the Brotherhood of Old is pretty terrible. Yes. You don't need to be crazy to be a part of the Brotherhood, but it does help. Geez. You don't, I don't know. I question the, that anyone who's sane. It's kind of like when people talked about the 7th champion of Cyrodiil and how he became Daedric Prince of Madness, right? Well, the problem is that, like, people say, well, he was driven crazy by going to the Shivering Isles, or he was driven crazy by taking on the Mantle of Sheogorath. No, you don't understand. The 7th champion of Cyrodiil was crazy from the get-go. Because you know what he did? He or she? The 7th champion of Cyrodiil saw an Oblivion Gate, right? In a destroyed city. And what was their reaction? Run on into it. Just hop on in. No problem. Like, let's go adventure into Oblivion! The 7th champion of Cyrodiil was already unhinged from the get-go. All right, we got to transform ourselves. There we go. And now we're ready for combat. Because this shack has a reputation. Reputation of having bandits. No bandits, apparently. I'll take the bone meal, though. What's in the chest? Nah, septums and a steel hatchet. We don't need the steel hatchet. We are actually a bit discriminating with what we loot when it comes to, oof, my goodness, more burnt corpses, but when it comes to weapons and armor and stuff. My goodness. It's either the Dark Brotherhood or joining Jarl's Court. So few opportunities for sociopaths in Skyrim. Ain't that the truth? Yes. All right, let's access our Crucible really quick. And then we'll put away all our alchemy ingredients as they are. You can see that the Crucible is actually slowing down. That's because we may have put too many items in it. Note that you can have 100,000 of a single item, and it won't matter. It all counts as one item, just with a value attached to it. It's every unique item that's in the Crucible that counts. So those 15,000 purple mountain flowers all count as just one item. But we've got so many alchemy ingredients that are unique to each other in the Crucible now that you can see how that is actually slowing down the game a bit when it's open. Only when it's open. We close the Crucible, everything goes back to normal. But let's type in the word perp, and you'll see 15,996 purple mountain flowers. I've all my alchemy ingredients for these 300 hours I've been playing this playthrough ended up in the Crucible. It's hilarious. All right. Well, we need to continue on over. Dim Hollow Crypt is where we want to go, actually. Final Descent. See much to do about the Snow Elves. Diplomatic immunity. Pretty sure it's not diplomatic immunity. Pretty sure that's way earlier. She Who Erases. We're not doing He Who Cannot Be Touched because that is something entirely different. Shattered Legacy is reforging the Amulet of Kings. We won't be doing that. Dragon Hunt is literally Worm's Tooth. Keg Breaker, Beyond Reach. It belongs in the museum. Kermit, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. My goodness. Yes. Let me see here. Oh, well. So what I said, is there anything that notifies you of Fallen House, Carl? You know Lydia's dead, but you can't find her. So yeah, there's console commands if you're looking for like Lydia, for example. If we wanted a Lydia, which I'm actually willing to try this, so I'm gonna save it, do a regular save, and then I'll show you how this works. So so first I go to my web browser and I type in the word Lydia and then Skyrim. Lydia Skyrim, right? And we ignore the Elder Scrolls fandom article because it's, you know, UESP is better. Scroll down to UESP. Once we go to UESP, we will find ourselves some good old-fashioned Lydia. This is Lydia as she was intended, as you can see. Wow, that is some picture. That is some high-quality picture. Actually, it's just not loading, that's all. And I've noticed a lot of that, a lot of the not loading. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at, you'll see base ID and ref ID. So base ID is if you want to create a new Lydia, and ref ID is if you want to find the existing Lydia as she is in the game files. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab this, we're going to bring it up to Skyrim, and we're going to type in the word PRID, P-R-I-D, right? PRID allows us to target something. And so we are going to target Lydia's ref ID. And as you can see, Lydia exists in the game values. So now that we've found, you see Lydia was last changed by Bijin AIO, which makes her into a supermodel like everyone else. And then, but we're going to ignore most of that. And we're going to type move to, yep, player. So we are basically taking Lydia and we are moving her to the player. And you should be able to see Lydia right here.
What was that?
Now she is ready to go. She's ready to fight that woof. She's also wearing the Nier Automata dress, which is why she lives in the gallery and nowhere else. But yes, there you go. 99% of our characters have different clothes, but the how do I put this? The House Carls, they all live in the gallery and they all look like this.
Honor to you, my Thane.
Yes, can you send her back? Absolutely not. That's why we saved the game and we're reloading it. She will walk back on her own over time. But that is an example of how console commands work. Now, there is another way. Interesting, there's an empty pot right, a couple empty pots right here. Why are there empty pots here? Cabbage soup, interesting. Yes. That is how you grab an existing person. If you wanted to create a new Lydia, you would make sure nothing is selected, right? Then you'd type in player dot. So you're basically, you're treating the player as the target. Place at me, and then you'd enter her base ID, which is different from a ref ID. Like if we go over here, whoops, I mean, if you go over here, you can see the base ID here, which is how you create a new one. Player place at me creates a new one there. That's how it works. And one of my follower mods lets me lets me redefine where followers live. And once I change their residence, I can then just kind of make them hang out wherever I want. I just tell them that their residence is now in the Daedric Gallery, for example. And it's like, okay, when they go, I'll head home if you need me. That then home is defined as the Daedric Gallery. Yes. Yes. Well, we have an intermittent bug that happens every once in a while. It's, isn't that what intermittent means? Yes. I like redundant terminology. As I was saying, basically, our dragons don't spawn sometimes. New dragons, quest dragons, always spawn. But, like, the Radiant dragons, they might not respawn 100% of the time. It may take them 3 or 4 cycles to actually respawn our Radiant dragons. And that's fine. Like, I'm fine with having less sky lizards in my game. And so, knowing that I have less sky lizards in my game, I occasionally need to use the console to fix things. That's pretty important. And look at these guys. Yep. They are Imperial Legion soldiers. Yes.
The Legion's always looking for strong, capable warriors. If you think you've got what it takes, our headquarters is in Solitude.
Yes. Very good. Let's go. You think the dog's the commander? Imperial dogs! Yes. Yes, Imperial dogs. Okay, heading up to Dunstar. Looks like we got ourselves a Naga. Yeah, I have to be careful about this. Oh, come on.
All over now. Good riddance, I say.
Wow. Elena got a little splattered, didn't she? All right, you said you've watched a lot of videos on YouTube. They helped you make your Skyrim run smoothly. Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. We are going to be resuming putting videos up on the YouTubes starting probably tomorrow. Did it flew away? No, it died and flopped over like way over there. It, yes, I was going to say that, as far as, yeah, the YouTube videos go, like, I need to grab another batch, because I have like 60 Skyrim videos, 60 Skyrim VODs, and I've got like another 20, 30 Daggerfall VODs, and I just need to actually go in and put in all the metadata and splice in the commercials, because if I don't put in the commercials manually, YouTube will put in like 30 of them front-loaded. YouTube's terrible. Unless you tell it specifically where you want the commercials. I usually put them every like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. YouTube wants them like every 5 minutes for the beginning of the video. Like something stupid like that. That's YouTube. Like in a nutshell. If you don't define commercials, YouTube will define the commercials for you. And it's not the good. It's not the good. Anyway. Well. Yeah. So what I have to do with those videos is I have to put in all the metadata, place all the tags, define the commercials, and then I can put that up there. Yeah. So. You have a newer PC, so you have trouble getting anything run before Morrowind. Is difficult. Oh, well, good news then. Good news. Daggerfall Unity is actually, get this. This is really fancy because what happened is Daggerfall Unity has now hit its milestone beta build, okay? It is now in beta. And that's because if we go over to their roadmap, you'll see something has changed in Daggerfall Unity. Oh, yes, it has. Check this out. So we're going to go over to the the road map, I believe. Where the hell is the road map? I'm pretty stupid when it comes to pattern recognition. So, roadmap, there it is. Okay. So let's scroll down. Everything in dark green is finished. Anything in light green is mostly finished. Anything in yellow is in progress, right? And then anything in white has not been started yet. So let's go down this list of things that they have finished. Everything in dark green is finished. Okay. So let's keep going down this list. Just keep going down, and you're gonna see something near the bottom, and it's gonna be a little special. So here we go. So looking at beta, we can see all all game features are now implemented. Daggerfall Unity. All game features are now implemented. So play the fucking game. Now, they are going to expand the mod system and then make it easier for you to play the game in French or some shit. And then they'll be done. But, yeah, you can go to, let's go, nexusmods.com, Daggerfall Nexus. Here we go. Is there a 64-bit download? That's a very good question you had there. So, get this. There is a build for Windows 64. There's a build for Windows 32. There's a Linux 64 and a Mac Universal. Those are the builds you can get for Daggerfall Unity. What I'd recommend is first grab the Daggerfall game files, which is an unbethesda'd version. That is to say, so as far as Daggerfall game files go, this is the ideal set of base game files that you simply put into the Daggerfall Unity folder, and it'll run the game. But this is basically Bethesda's original release before they started muddling it up with Bethesda.net stuff. All right, this is the ideal set of game files you want to start with, and you chuck them into the Daggerfall Unity folder, and it'll work. But Daggerfall Unity by necessity has to be separate from Daggerfall's game files. You put them together yourself. Anyway, once you get that going, then you can go over to the Daggerfall Unity Nexus, and if we pull up the mods section and we go to top files, you can see that we got Dream, which is only for it's a complete retexture of everything. It's how do I put this? You got to be careful with Dream because it's going to push your system requirements up to like 8 or 10 gigabytes of RAM. Because it's just like ultra high definition textures. I wouldn't use this in most people's playthroughs. Actually, it can slow your game down. Taverns Redone is pretty awesome. Hand painted model replacements is great. It replaces a lot of textures with like genuine 3D models. Like fountains and stuff look great. Roleplay and realism I recommend for pretty much everybody. We pull this up, you can see what I'm talking about. Roleplay and realism has clickable beds where you can click on the bed to sleep in it. Advanced archery, enhanced writing, encumbrance effects. You can enable or disable any of these modules, by the way. You don't have to use any or all of them. Like, you can just grab one module and run with it if you want. In the mod configuration menu, you can turn on and off all of this. So, Underworld Expulsion lets you get kicked out of the Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild. That was an improvement of Daggerfall Unity, is they don't let you get kicked out the instant you join because you did some bad stuff in the past that pissed off the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves Guild. This turns that back on. You can obviously turn that. I turn this off personally because I don't like getting kicked out and ruining my playthrough by accident. But it could be part of the background simulation. It's absolutely something that can happen in the vanilla game. So this restores it. This only lets you board ships on ports. This adds bandages that you can use. Adds climbing restrictions where you can't climb with your dagger out. You can't have your weapon equipped and then climb at the same time. There's weapon speed limits that stop you from being Fist of the North Star at 100 speed, just with a two-handed weapon. It stops the helicopter two-handed weapon. This lets your armor get damaged more consistently so that you repair it. It's kind of nice, actually. And then there's a bunch of other stuff to talk about, but the point is that the roleplay immersion, roleplay and realism is actually pretty good. The quest pack is recommended, adds a ton of new quests to the game. Don't use real grass unless you want your game to lag. Don't do it. Villager immersion overhaul is awesome, but it's also in production, so it's going to get better over time. I was going to say Warm Ashes is if you like traveling around the world. You can just kind of encounter like camps of bandits or other things while you're running around the open world. Roleplay and realism items, it adds a whole new set of... it completely overhauls the way items work. It's really cool there. I recommend it. It also adds in different qualities of chainmail. So, or how do I put this? If you want to be a non-plate using person, you can still get Daedric chainmail, for example. It's not as effective as Daedric plate, but the point is that it adds a progression system to chainmail as well as plate, which I like. Let me see here. Sky Shards, I like this. It adds 192 Sky Shards to the Daggerfall region, which is, knowing that it's the size of Great Britain, 192 is actually very few. So occasionally you'll be running around and you see a crypt with a Sky Shard, the beam of light glowing from it. I love Sky Shards in concept. People are like, you shouldn't use Sky Shards. You're from ESO, and ESO isn't canon in my eyes. I hate everything about Elder Scrolls Online. No, Sky Shards are actually a really cool collectible that I recommend. I do. Let me see here. Hills and Mountains is cool. It adds this I recommend for pretty much every playthrough. It lets you see great distances and then makes the terrain more lumpy. Meaner Monsters, something that I use. Better ambience. Helmet swap. Let's keep going down the list here. We'll get back to it here. Basic magic region. Prostitutes and lovers. They're like 4 mods, and they're all incompatible with each other. But basically, the vanilla game had a faction in it called the Prostitutes, right? The Prostitutes were never used by the game. Like, the Prostitutes were actually in the game world. You could see them sitting around taverns or whatnot, topless, in the vanilla game. But they had no functionality. So they're like 3 different mods that expand on that faction that doesn't do anything in the vanilla game. And I find that both troublesome and hilarious. All right, let me see here. Travel options I recommend to everybody because you can actually physically travel faster through the wilderness or do conventional fast travel. Lets you do both. It's also tied to real roads, which is another mod that adds roads to everything. So you use travel options and the roads mod together and you get a really cool experience. Climates and Calories is a survival mod you're asking for, but it's brutal. You're going to need different sets of equipment, like extra cloaks and things, and your clothes will deteriorate over time as they're exposed to the extreme elements. So you have to go buy new replacement clothes or get them repaired. Either way, it's ridiculous. I recommend it though. Decorator lets you decorate your home with anything you want. I've used this extensively in my playthrough. Love and Lust is another prostitute mod, of course. No one cares. Mercenaries lets you have your own NPC hirelings. World Tooltips is cool. It gives you Morrowind-style tooltips on stuff. Starting Dungeon Randomizer is hilarious, and it can break the game. Let me see here. I recommend the Archaeologist Guild every playthrough. If I haven't seen on this list, I probably went past it. Sneak and Crouch combined, hilarious Master Chief. Let me see here. Start Saver is good. It saves the game after you finish creating your character. So that you don't walk out, get one shot by a rat, and flip out and go, oh, my character creation time is gone. This just auto saves when you create your character. Let me see here. Oh yes, Temples and Templar Order quest pack. This is really good. You know those Templar orders, those knighthoods that are dedicated to a specific temple that you can't join the vanilla game? This gives them quests, so that's cool. Carry weight customizer. I love this. Let's see. Unleveled mobs. Improve crosshair. Yes, metal does not bleed. So on and so forth. I could keep going. But it's just it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And you can't use all the mods together. Oh look, less intrusive armors. I downloaded this one because it's hilarious. Ever find it weird how the game gives you clothes, but the only way is to cover it up with your armor? You know what? I think that's hilarious. So, you know, now your armor is a little neck ring, and the rest of it is exposed. It's obviously meant to be a nude mod, but in reality, the guy plays it off as it shows off your clothing. You know, and then there's of course all female skimpy armor with bare Argonian breasts in the thumbnail. Demonetized. Let's see here. Spiders get turned into bears for people with arachnophobia. And then, of course, all different characters here. If you need Solid Snake in your playthrough, you can have Solid Snake. Yeah, that doesn't matter. All that's irrelevant. So, anyway, that's all you need to know is that Daggerfall Unity is now in beta. All game features are now implemented, and it has mods. Lots and lots of mods. Yes, so my recommendation is that you give it a try, and if you want the original retro aesthetic, there is actually an option in Daggerfall Unity called Retro Rendering Mode. And it actually puts the graphics back to the old look. Yes, back to the way it used to be. So there's the link to their live builds. There is something similar being done for Arena. Yes, are you going to be able to transfer your current save? There are no breaks in saves. The last time they broke saves was a year and a half ago. The only thing you can't do is transfer your saves from the vanilla game, because the vanilla game saves are in a terrible format, and there is no converter. This is simply a better version of the save files that doesn't get corrupted. There we go. Now it transferred the video over. Bam, we're back. Had some things I had to do. Okay, let's see. Dim Hollow, not cavern, Dim Hollow Crypt. Let's see where it could be. Lordstone. Dim Hollow Crypt is over there. Jeez, place a marker. But yeah, we got to go up to the Shrine of Mehrunes Dagon, past the Hall of the Vigilant, or around the Hall of the Vigilant. I'm not entirely sure anymore. Doesn't matter. We're going in this direction. It's pretty important. We are, unfortunately, let's just say a vampire, and we need to learn more about these other vampires, and that's our justification for kind of wandering around where we are. We've already killed plenty of giants. I don't really see a need there. My goodness. But we do need to figure out more about these vampires, since we became one due to a group of vampires on the road, which may have thoroughly infected us with their terrible disease. We learn more about them and their powers. Perhaps we can, number one, figure out how to not be a vampire anymore. Number two, well, if we're sorry, the other way around. Number one, how to make our powers more powerful, and number two, maybe potentially cure ourselves in the future.
A place of mystery and death.
Okay, a Dwarven city. I don't care for the Dwarven city. We're going past it. Masinchalift. I know where we are. I was horribly distracted and going the wrong way. I mean, it's a snowy blizzard. This isn't a real blizzard, but you know, it's as close as Skyrim's going to get to a blizzard. So let's get going. Empty urn. Oh, if you're okay, you want a mod for empty urn. That would be Genesis. Genesis is the mod you want for empty urn. Okay, we got goblins. We gotta fight the goblins. Yeah, okay, we're gonna equip our combat set. Then we're gonna dive behind this tree and cast Dragon Hide, so we get 2 shot instead of 1 shot. Genesis is a mod that will probably ruin your long-term playthroughs, but it will randomly generate items in empty containers. You'll see empty container, and when you look inside it, it might contain 4 or 5 different things.
Is this what you want?
Here we go.
Somehow, I don't think we'll be hearing the bards sing about this battle.
No, I don't think so either. These goblins were pretty pathetic. Alright. Oh, there's a Khajiit skull. For no reason. Seems these goblins killed a Khajiit on the road. This is the Mace of Zenithar. It is a holy relic that was used to kill elves in the past. Many, many elves. However, what we do is we keep it charged with the souls of humans that we've shoved into the Black Star. That isn't heretical at all. Alright. Let me see. Yes. Moving along. We gotta go past the Burnt Out Hall of the Vigilant. Creation Club, yes. Well, the Creation Club version just kind of gives them to bandits and other NPCs around the world. You ever seen a bandit wearing the Crusaders relics? Good going, Creation Club. Let me see here. Some putrid flesh from that thing. So this is the Hall of the Vigilant. It's been utterly destroyed, but one thing is these corpses keep seeming to spawn new loot, so I assume that they're having battles over this place, which would honestly make a lot of sense. Grab those bloodstained clothes as well. So these burnt books we can pick up, actually. Latoria at the museum will turn those burnt books into items for us. It's kind of nice. If you give up any of your relics to the Vigilance of Stendarr, because they'll go, "We know you're holding a Daedric artifact. Hand it over." If you do hand over your Daedric artifact, then it'll go in here in the vault of the Vigilance. Yes, this tribunal plate is not canon, but it does go in the museum's Hall of Oddities because it is an oddity, to be sure. Let's grab the vampire armor and the vampire dust. We've already got the other items though. So that's it. I think the Vigilants are all dead.